What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Guitar Gear Trader channel. I am Steve, coming at you as always from Nashville, Tennessee. Boy, do I have something exciting to talk to you about today. But before we get into it, do me a favor, hit subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, share the video out with your friends, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Guitar Gear Trader. So, for about a year, I've been trying to get in contact with Gibson Made to Measure, because as you know, or if you don't know, Gibson Guitars here in Nashville has a special order program where you can design your guitar to the exact specs that you want to have it. You can pick the tops, you can pick the woods, you can pick the neck, you can pick the accessories, the pickups, all the hardware, the tuners. You can basically pick any part of the guitar that you want. I know that if you go to the Gibson garage, you can put in an order there and pick out the woods and stuff that they have on hand. But there's also a option that you can use on their website. If you go scroll over the guitar section and you hit the made to measure area, you can fill out a form. You can tell them what kind of guitar body you're basically interested in. So you can basically pick a Les Paul 335, Firebird, Explorer, whatever, just the general body shape. And then give them your information and they will contact you to, talk to you or consult with you about the build that you want to do. So for about a year, I've been filling that form out basically on a, bi-monthly basis, right? So maybe like 4 times over the past year, I have filled that form out and I have had zero luck with them contacting me back. So I went ahead and called up my Sweetwater rep, who, his name is Adam. He's a great dude, always takes care of me. And I was telling him that I was looking for a made-to-measure Gibson, and does he do special orders? So he tells me, we do special orders. Tell me the guitar that you want. Tell me what you're looking for. If you have any pictures, send me pictures. And he's like, I will send that over to Gibson. It usually takes a week for them to get me the information, and I'll get back to you when they do with a quote. He goes, typically they run around $6,000 to $7,000, depending on if you want Murphy Lab or not Murphy Lab, VOS, something like that. So I was waiting on that, and in the meantime, I was just perusing Sweetwater, and I found a Mark Tremonti PRS that was on sale. That was like $800 off. One particular color was like $800 off. So I called up my rep and I was like, hey, do you have this guitar? I know it's on back order. Can you get it for me? This and that. And he's like, yeah, I'll hold it for you. Yada, yada, yada. Long story short, it basically came down to which one is going to be available first. Is he going to give me a quote on the made-to-measure Gibson, or is this PRS going to come in? And he kept telling me that they're not getting back to him either. So I was like, oh, man, all right. So I was like, I guess do me a favor. If you get the PRS in, give me a call and we'll make sure that, the Gibson's unavailable or whatever. So ends up, Gibson never contacts him. After a second time, he reached out to them. They don't contact him. The PRS comes in. So I got the PRS, which I will be doing a video on soon. So now I'm a little upset that I can't get in touch with Gibson Made to Measure. Sweetwater can't get in contact with Gibson Made to Measure, because I was really excited about Sweetwater because I could use the Sweetwater card. He told me that I could use the financing, and the only amount I would have to pay up front is a deposit, which is about 10%. So I would have to give them like $600, and then it would take about 18 months to get the guitar, and then I don't have to pay the rest until delivery of the guitar, and I could do the financing on it. So I could, and then 18 months, I have a lot of time to kind of get my credit card bill down to almost zero, if not zero. And then that charge would go on, and then I would pay 36-month financing on $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000, whatever it came out to. But it didn't happen. So I get the PRS. I have it. It's right here. Okay? I'll show you another day. And then about 4 days later, I get an email from Gibson Made to Measure, directly from Gibson, telling me, hi, we're ready to make your guitar. What can we do for you? So I want to walk you through the steps that I went with them, because I was very unclear about how the made to measure program worked. And I did not see any videos on YouTube explaining how it worked. There's nothing on Gibson's website explaining how it works, other than you're going to have the best experience and you're going to get the greatest guitar ever. And this is going to be a 2-part video in the Made to Measure saga. This first video is going to be the ordering process, and then the second video will be the product, the actual guitar that I get. Okay, so a little bit of a spoiler alert there, kind of, but I don't have the guitar yet. So there's that. So I want to show you, I want to take you with me through the emails. And, you know, maybe some of you don't want to read emails with me, and that's okay. You can speed up the tape to get you through it. But the process is kind of interesting, and it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. And it's, in my opinion, it's not exactly made to measure. As it's not as cool as it sounds, or maybe I'm just not spending enough money, right? Maybe I need to spend a lot more money to get a lot more perks. But let me bring you through some of these emails. So check this out. So this is the guitar that I wanted to build with Gibson. So this is Gem Archer. This is Gem Archer in the year 2000. Gem Archer is all gray, kind of like me now, and he has spectacles, he has glasses, but he is the rhythm guitar player for Oasis. I'm a rhythm guitar player. I'm a big fan of Firebirds. If you're a fan of the show and you've watched the show a while, you know that I love Firebirds, and especially non-reverse Firebirds. So I have a custom shop 65 reissue non-reverse Firebird with the long lyre vibrola on it. It's like a tobacco sunburst kind of color, and it has P90 pickups in it. This guitar, I have dreamed about this guitar since I've seen the live concert of Oasis at Wembley Stadium in the year 2000. So if you go onto YouTube, type in Oasis Wembley 2000, this concert will come up. And that was the year I graduated high school. And every Christmas, I would go through this ritual of changing the strings on all my guitars. My first day of Christmas vacation that I got off of school, or if I got off of work later on in my life, my ritual would be to go home right from work or right from school that first day of break, and I would change all the strings on all the guitars that I had. Now at the time, maybe I had 3 or 4 guitars, so it was a couple hours of killing some time and changing strings. But in the background, I would have on some type of live concert, and the majority of the time it was something to do with Oasis, and a lot of those times were this particular concert. It was the Familiar to Millions tour. It wasn't the greatest album tour ever in the world, but they played all their hits and stuff like that. And Gem plays this guitar in that concert, basically the entire time. He might switch out here and there, but his main guitar was this particular non-reverse Firebird. I do not know any specs on this guitar other than what I see in this picture. So to me, this is a dot neck. It has uncovered humbuckers, dual humbuckers. It's missing the Firebird logo on the pick guard. Usually there's a little red Firebird up on that top horn. It doesn't have a blade switch. It has a toggle, like a Les Paul style toggle switch, which I didn't notice until the Gibson guy told me. It has a short vibrola on it. It's got a special bridge that I can't tell what kind of bridge it is, but that's really not too big of a deal for me. And the color to me looks like a really deep cherry. And I have a Firebird Studio from like 2001 that I thought was the same color, but the one I have is a little bit more red. So in hindsight, I think this guitar might be like a burgundy color. There are better shots in the video, but it's a video from the early 2000s, and it's very grainy. So it's hard to tell if it's solid or if it's transparent or if it's sparkle. Like a burgundy sparkle in it or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's not sparkle, but I've wanted this guitar for many years, but you don't typically see Firebirds with this configuration. Typically what you see with Firebirds is mini humbuckers, or you see them with P90s. You very rarely see them with dual humbuckers. There are a couple out there that Gibson has made through the years, through the custom shop, that they've had dual humbuckers on. One of them is this weird kind of swirly paint. It almost looks like a tie-dye paint, or if you melted a whole bunch of crayons together. I know Trogley on the Trogley Show collects those. I don't know the name of them. I'll try to put one on the screen. They come in like weird blue and orange and like a neon green color, and it looks like different like blue shaded crayons are melted and kind of just mixed together, or like epoxy almost, right? It looks like a whole like mixture of epoxy. Those come with humbuckers. They have like a metal pick guard and like metal humbucker covers on the pickups. Then there's another one that I actually had. It was a non-reverse. It was red. They made it in red, like a cherry red, or cardinal red, and they made it in ebony, and it was out of the custom shop, and it had two humbucker pickups they were uncovered, but they had a cover that covered the edges of the pickup, but the middle of it was blank. It was interesting. It was like a bra with like, I'm gonna cut that out. But imagine a metal pickup cover over the pickup, but the top of it cut off, and all you have is the sides of it, and like a little like girdle that goes over the top of it, but you see the bobbins. There was that version of this guitar as well, but none of them came in this burgundy color. So I have no idea if this guitar is custom made for Gem, or if this guitar is vintage, or if this guitar is vintage and sprayed, refinished. I have no idea. I tried looking it up. All I know is he's a very big Firebird fan. He has lots and lots of Firebirds, but I couldn't find anything specific about this guitar. So here are the emails. Okay, so we're going to start with the first email here. And this is the first email that I got from them. And it says, "Hi, Alana." Now, the reason it says Alana, that's my daughter's name. And the reason I did that was because I sent, like I told you, I sent multiple emails through the little sign-up sheet on their website. I filled it out like 3 or 4 times with my information. And I was like, maybe they keep seeing my name and they just keep throwing it away. So I'm going to use my daughter's name. So I used my daughter's name for one of them, and maybe that worked, or maybe it's just a coincidence. But he says, "Hi, Alana. My name is Jared Margulies. I'm one of the garage pros here at the Gibson Garage Nashville. I recently got your inquiry about customizing a guitar and would love to help you out. I saw that you want to do a Murphy Lab guitar. Is that correct? Do you know what model you'd want to customize? Les Paul SG 335 Flying V." So now here is why I think they contacted me, because every other time I put that I didn't want Murphy Lab. I filled this one out and I said to myself, let me put I want a Murphy Lab. Maybe because it's going to cost me more, maybe they'll contact me. Maybe they don't want to do a non-Murphy Lab. Maybe they don't want to do a VOS. Maybe they only want to do the higher end stuff, right? So warning to you out there, if you want to get their attention, you might want to, say that you're going to do a Murphy Lab instead. Okay. So I write back to him. Yeah, I'm looking to replicate this guitar, and I give him the same picture that I just showed you guys. Okay. He writes, "Sounds great. I think we can do that build. What color would you say that is? From the photo, it looks to be either burgundy red, oxblood, or walnut finish. The other specs," and this is really cool that he, listed these specs for me. He's like, uncovered custom bucker, PAF pickups, black bobbins, short maestro tremolo, gold top hat knobs. I didn't even notice that. I would have been fine with reflector knobs, but he saw that it was gold top hat knobs. Dot inlays, nickel hardware, white 3-ply pickguard. Not entirely sure if we can do that specific bridge that he has. So if so, it'll be the ABR1 that we can put on it. So I write, "That's great, no problem, sounds good." Let's see what my response to him was. I said, "I think it might be Viking red. That might be the closest color. He plays it in concert, that it's on YouTube. Not sure if you're able to tell from watching it, but it's definitely darker. It's a darker cherry red. I definitely don't want oxblood. That's too dark, I think. And the ABR1 is fine. Would you be able to price out a light aged and a non-Murphy Lab for me? And can I choose the serial number? Lastly, I was going to put this on my Gibson credit card. Would that be okay?" So a couple of parts there, right? Because it's going to come back later on. I said, "Can you price out both the Murphy Lab and the light aged and the non-Murphy Lab? And can I choose my own serial numbers? Because I've heard through other videos on other channels that you can add your own serial number. You can make it your birthday. You can make it your kid's birthday. You can put your initials in the serial number. I've seen that. I know I've seen that on Trogley's show. So I know it's definitely a thing. So then he comes back and says, can you send a closer photo reference of the color if possible? My team will definitely ask for one. If not, all good. I'll use the photo that you had sent on the guitar. I'll price out one light aged in VOS. Unfortunately, we can't customize the serial number. And yes, you can use your Gibson Synchrony card. At the moment, we're offering 6, 12, and 18-month financing. I was like, oh, perfect. I can get financing on it. So I was a little disappointed when he said he could not customize the serial number, because I thought, I'm pretty sure I thought that was something that that he could do. I said, okay, perfect. I took some screenshots of the live concert. I added it to the link. I added the link to the concert as well. Can my initials be put before the serial number? If not, that's totally fine. Like instead of CS for custom shop, can you put SI instead? So he writes, so hilariously enough, we have this guitar in the store right now. It's an on-reverse Firebird in Cardinal Red, very similar to the Firebird you sent, something like this. Or maybe we can do it just a little bit darker. Check it out. I attached it to this email. And he sends me this picture. This, to me, looks nothing like the guitar that I sent to him with Gem holding it. Right? This guitar is extremely red, in my opinion. That's a red guitar. And the guitar that I want is not red like that. It's way more burgundy, there's way more purple in it, or it's just darker, in my opinion. He then responds to me and says, as for the serial number, unfortunately, we can't do the initials either. Sorry about that. So that's one thing right off the bat that I can't get that I thought I could get. Right? You're spending extra money, more money than normal. And again, you are getting a guitar to the specs you want. Right? I cannot get this guitar anywhere else. But that is something that I thought, what's the big deal? Why can't it's an ink stamp? Why can't you change it? Especially if you're spending, a premium on it. So I said to him after seeing that picture, hey, I think the one I want is a dark stain. The Cardinal Red's a solid paint color. Because when I looked at Gem's guitar, I couldn't tell if it was a solid paint or if it was a dark stain like the one I have. And he came back and said, okay, do you want to have the grain show through the paint? I believe Gem's is solid, but definitely slightly darker ember red, slightly darker than the ember red that we do. I said, I didn't even consider his to be a solid, but I guess it's possible. Does it look solid to you? I'm not sure if that's the original color of the guitar. Do you know what colors were offered on reverse Firebirds in the 60s? I'm just assuming it's from the 60s. It's from then. He says, hard to tell, ha ha ha, honestly, ha ha ha. But I'm going to try. I don't think you should put ha-ha-has and LOLs in professional emails. But I guess the people who are professionals now are from a different era, and they think that's appropriate. I'm not going to get all twisted about it, but I kind of don't think that should be in a professional email. But anyway, it was hard to tell, honestly, but I'm going to try and see if I can get more info on it. It could also highly be possible be a wine red finish, and those are more translucent. So I found this picture, and I said, I know this picture isn't the right setup for the guitar, but I think the one on the left is the most accurate. Still don't know what color it is, but if we can get close to that, that'd be great. He says, for sure, I was actually going to send that picture to you as well. Haha. We'll use that photo as reference and see if we can get it close. I'll double check with my team and see if it's possibly a translucent or a solid color finish. So far, this is going great. Then I said, also, I would like a wide flat neck. I have a 71 Les Paul Custom that has a neck that's like that, and it's absolutely perfect. Is that possible? It says, as for the neck, unfortunately, we can only do the neck the non-reverse Firebird comes with. It's a medium C shape, roughly these dimensions, and he gives me, measurements of a neck. Let me know if you have any other questions. All right, now this kind of bothers me because I've had custom shop non-reverse Firebirds that had thick Telecaster, no caster shaped necks from the 50s. and it was very uncomfortable. It was a guitar I really wanted, but I bought it online, never played it, and I got it, and I'm like, oh my God, this neck is so gigantic. I really don't like it. I like flat, wide necks instead of these kind of baseball bat things. So so now this is number 2, right? Number 2 thing. Number 1 was the serial number, which I got over that pretty quick. But now the neck shape, like this is a non-refundable purchase, and if I don't like the neck, it's going to be hard to sell a made-to-measure guitar that's a one-of-one that maybe only I like. I can't sell it. Hey, how many Gem Archer fans are there in Nashville? Probably I'm the only one. So that kind of bothered me, right? And then he mentioned Ember Red, and I'm like, this is not Ember Red. Is there any way to do the Viking Red in a solid? If so, that's the way I would like to go. If not, let's do Viking Red as a stain, so transparent. Now I was typing this as I was driving, so if you see like wonky sentences, let me show you what Viking Red looks like. Okay, so here are some pictures of Viking Red guitars. This one in particular caught my eye because it's a non-reverse. That to me looks pretty close. It's not as burgundy, but it's definitely a darker red, and I don't mind that at all, right? I don't want to get a burgundy. I didn't want to get necessarily a burgundy because I didn't know if it would be too purple. But this color looked pretty good to me. He writes back, he goes, so the thing about Viking Red is that that's a color we don't do anymore. So we'll need a reference photo to make sure we do the exact color you'd want. Of that photo with the 2 Firebirds, would you want it to look exactly like the one to the right? Darker red one? So I said to him, the one on the left, that's the darker one. He says, perfect, we'll do that then as a solid color. Just to confirm, the rest of the specs would be like this. Non-reverse Firebird, custom uncovered double black pickups, short Maestro tremolo, gold top hat knobs, Les Paul toggle switch, Firebird medium C-shaped neck, color reference to match, price check on Light Murphy Lab and VOS. I said, yes sir, that's it. He goes, awesome, I just sent the specs over to my made-to-measure team to get the price quotes, both VOS and light aged. I should get them back tomorrow. I'll let you know once I get them back. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. So this is going swimmingly, in my opinion. He sends me an email the very next day. He goes, got the spec sheets back. Here are the prices. VOS finish is $62.99. Light Murphy Lab is $77.99. I say, great. Let me do some math and let me see which one I can afford. What are my financing options? He says to me, so it's a full non-refundable deposit up front. That is trigger number 3 to me. Number 1 was the serial number. Number 2 was the neck shape. Number 3, full non-refundable deposit up front. That's an oxymoron. Like a deposit, the definition of deposit is that it's a portion of the total price. That's just the total. Why are you calling it a deposit? It's a full non-refundable payment. It's not a non-refundable deposit. A deposit would have been, give me $500, give me $1,000, give me half, give me 50%, give me $3,000 before you buy this guitar so that we know we're not going to get screwed on it if you don't like it. Don't call it a full non-refundable deposit up front. So you want me to pay for a guitar. So let me read the rest of this thing here. So it's a full non-refundable deposit up front. Once the deposit is paid, the turnaround is 6 to 8 months. Right now, the financing options are 6, 12, and 18 months financing at 0% interest. So I'm going to pay full price for a guitar and pay those payments for 8 months that I'm not going to have the guitar for. I'm going to make payments on a guitar that I don't have for 8 months. Now, 8 months ain't going to be it. It's going to be a year. It's going to be a year and a half. Who knows what it's going to be? It's not going to be 8 months, right? They're going to be doing, every other high-end fancy Murphy Lab guitar before they touch mine. Okay? So I am getting more and more disenfranchised as I go through this process with them, right? So he says the financing options are 6, 12, and 18 months. I say, okay. I go to the website. I go to the Gibson website. Let me see if it's still there. And I click on any guitar. And it says here 24-month financing. So I go back to him and I say, on the website, it's offering me 24 months. And he says, oh, that's interesting. The 24 months and 36 months ended in March. I'll have to double check that. I'll get back with you shortly. He says 24 months financing is available, so that was correct. Perfect. I don't mind. If it's not 36, that's good. I'll take 24. That reduces my payment quite a bit. I said, all right, that's great. Let's do the VOS at 24-month financing. Send me an invoice. And he said, perfect. I will do that, and I'll be able to send it to you first thing in the morning. That's where we're at. So I'm very, very excited. I've been wanting this guitar for a long time. I'm waiting on that invoice, and hopefully everything works out well. And I can't wait to show you what I have in store in the part 2 episode of the Made to Measure saga. So thanks for sticking around to the end. What do you think about the guitar? If you could make a guitar made to measure, any specs you wanted, regardless of the rules of Gibson, what would the guitar be? What would it look like? Now, for me, I kind of feel like this is cheating, right? Because it's not a made to measure for me. I tried to think about what I would do for a guitar. And I don't like bells and whistles for the sake of bells and whistles. I like traditional things. So I like vintage stuff. So it doesn't really make sense for me to make a made to measure when it's just going to look like a production model guitar. I like the old colors. I don't like sparkles. I don't like pinstripes. I don't like flashy things like that. I'm not huge into like quilt tops and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that I would even make on my own would be very traditional looking things. That guitar that Gem plays is a very traditional looking vintage non-reverse Firebird with humbuckers. That's the only mod that really is different about his guitar. And that's something that I would want. So would you replicate a guitar that you like from someone who's an inspiration to you? Or would you go crazy? Would you make, a Les Paul with some crazy top and weird inlays and cool hardware and stuff like that? So let me know in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, Facebook, everywhere else. Subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, and I will tell you what happened next week. I already know the answer. You don't have to wait that long. See you later, everybody.